What's going on, everybody? It's Jack G here from Purple Matter, and today we're going to be doing a Wheezy, Gunna, Young Thug type beat breakdown slash tutorial for you guys. So yeah, let's get right into it. So we're here at 119 beats per minute in the key of F minor because that's the key of the loop that OP Wave sent through. Shout out OP. I'll just play the main part of the loop for you guys and so you can hear what it sounds like, and then we'll go through the rest of the patterns and stuff, and you'll hear the rest of the loop. It changes up. It's fire when we get into the arrangement. So here we go. So with the loop, you can hear already it kind of has that like Wheezy, Gunna, kind of reminds you of like So Much Fun by Young Thug, like that album, those type of vibes. It's upbeat, but again, the BPM is 119, so it allows us to get that like bounce that you hear in a lot of Wheezy beats. We'll get into that when we get into the drums and stuff. But yeah, it's fire. There's like that flute in there, those top melodies and stuff. But I just wanted to fill it out. I wanted to add even just a little bit more variation. You hear a lot of orchestral sounds, a lot of brass. So that's what I wanted to add. The first brass pattern we have here, I'll pull up the MIDI. You can see it's really nothing special. I just started off by laying down the bass melody right here. And then just to fill it out, I copied the notes, pitched it up an octave to fill it out, and this is what that sounds like. So it sounds a little dry, it sounds a little stale, but I do have it layered with two more brass sounds to fill it out. So this is the second one it's a sound from BBC Symphony Orchestra. So you can hear it's just a stab, something else to fill out just the brass section. They're all the same patterns. I just copied them into different sounds because I wanted to fill it out. And then the third sound we have in the brass selection is just like a higher pitch, just to fill out the top end of the brass melody. So this is what it sounds like. It's a one shot. And all of these additions, these layers, it looks like a lot, but in the mix, you can't really hear them. I just wanted it to fill out the loop. I didn't want to try and outshine the loop just because it is a really fire loop. But I wanted to add those elements because that's what you hear a lot in Wheezy beats. So getting into just other smaller elements of the melody, we have a violin from BBC Symphony Orchestra. Again, I'll pull up the MIDI here. So yeah, just added some ear candy here with the violin. So you can hear that. It's nothing too special, but again, just to fill out the melody. I have another one here. It's a string. It's like a guitar. It's really, really dry. I didn't even add any reverb to it, but I have it in the mix panned on top of, or I have this panned to the left and that other string that I just played panned to the right, just so it's not clashing in the middle of the mix. So this is what that sounds like. So like really dry guitar, but together, then I added a Vox, a one-shot Vox. Again, not very present in the mix, but it fills it out, and it's just some nice ear candy for the listener. Sounds good. Nothing special at all. And then this, like, you tend to hear in a lot of like Wheezy or like beats like this. I think it's cool. I really like it, just for some variation in the arrangement. For like the second part of the hook, I have a tubular bell, one shot. Sounds pretty fire. I like it. Pretty simple. So with all of that together, I know it's a lot. You have the main part of the melody for the hook. Pretty fire in my opinion. You know, it just has that Wheezy vibe to it. It has that, like, you can just tell the drums are gonna be hitting on this. You get that feeling. The drums are equally as important, maybe a little bit more important than the melody when you make Wheezy beats, just because his drums, his percussion is insane. So that's why, like, the BPM is really important. Like, those signature sounding Wheezy beats are in the lower 100s, so like anywhere from like 105 at the lowest to like 110, 115, 120, 125, like up to 1/3. This is just for that signature sound, for that signature drum bounce. Hi-hats, really simple. All of his drum patterns are really, really simple. One signature thing that he does, actually, I'll just play out the hi-hat pattern first. You can see, really simple, really, really simple. Slight changes in velocity here and there. But other than that, you got to get in that 1/6 beat, as you can see right here, that 1/6 beat roll right before that clap or snare is about to hit. Just sounds so clean. It has that bounce, it has that rhythm. Overall, really simple hi-hat pattern. Just for showing you guys my sound selection, this is the clap that I selected. Really clean, don't really need to say much else. This is where it gets fun. We have the snares. Wheezy's filler snares are insane. He always has crazy snare bounce. I'm using 2 snares on this track, 2 filler snares. That's something you can hear sometimes in his beats. Sometimes he uses 1 snare, just keeps it simple. I just wanted to go a little crazy, wanted to have fun with it. So I pulled up 2 snares. This is the first one, and this is the second one. I picked one that's a little tighter, and one that isn't, so that like it creates like a flow when the snares are hitting in relation to each other, like one after another. So I'll play the 2 snare patterns together. I'll pull up the midis here. This is the first snare, and then this is the second snare. And you can see that I have these rolls where I have like this velocity ramp. I just really like how that sounds. It adds a cool little effect right before that last clap hits on the 4th bar. And you know, you can afford to go a little crazy on the 4th bar. That's where you can let yourself shine. And then of course, open hats, a must in Wheezy beats, always has open hats. It just creates a dynamic, creates tension, especially with the reversed open hat and then the regular open hat. It just creates movement. That's what his beats are all about. They're all about creating movement. These are the open hat patterns. Again, having those panned. And then the 808 pattern. Wheezy always has crazy 808s. So for the 808, I chose this Zay 808. Well, it's called the new Zay, but the Zaytoven 808. You hear this in so many of his beats. It's just mixed differently, you know. But this is what it sounds like. And yeah, I don't have the boost or anything turned up. This is just the sound. Let's get into the pattern. All right, so this is our 808 pattern right here. I know some people might be like, oh, why are your notes so short, da 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 da. This is how I click them in. They sound good like this. I left it like this. Fight me. I know there's a lot of notes in here, but usually pretty simple 808s. I followed the bass notes of the melody. Obviously, that's the golden rule to laying down your 808s. Always follow the bass notes of your melody. Make sure your 808s are in key. Always. No artist, nobody likes to listen to a beat with 808s that aren't in the key that they're supposed to be. I'll just play out the 808 pattern. You guys will hear it. Pretty simple. That is pretty much it for the drums, except for one last thing. Because this is a Wheezy beat, you know, I had to add the Wheezy Vox. Just coming in on the 1, yeah, just on the 1. Nothing much else to say about this. Just adds that element of like, oh, this is like a Wheezy type beat. Like, so I'll play out the full drum arrangement for you guys so you can hear it. So yeah, the drums bouncy, they hit, they're relatively simple. I know this beat looks like it has a lot of layers, but it was mostly just filling out space. We can go on to the arrangement now. So you guys can see here at the bottom of the screen right here, I have a automation clip for a Fruity Love filter. Not something you hear in every Wheezy beat, but don't sleep on it. It does a really good job at just creating variation, creating movement throughout the beat. So especially in beats like this where like the drums are hitting quite frequently, and it might seem like, you know, you're hearing the same thing over and over and over, and it's a relatively simple drum pattern. It makes it easier to listen to. Doesn't seem like you're listening to the same thing over and over again. So what I did was I just threw it on the master, opened up Fruity Love filter, right clicked on the cutoff, clicked create an automation clip, and yeah, it dropped in there right into the playlist. And I just went in and made my own little automation patterns in there. Pretty much for the most part they're all different, but the reason why I put it on the master was because I wanted it to affect everything, so the melody and the drums, everything in there, just because I think that's what sounded good when I was making the beat. So yeah. And in terms of like the actual arrangement of the patterns and stuff, like I said, the loop from OP had different sections in it. So this is another section. That's a really good indication for artists and listeners, that like, oh, it's a different part of the song now, it's a different part of the beat, like there's a change, right? You want to use that when you're making beats. So that's what I did, and like it just indicates that like this is where the verse is, right, instead of the hook. That part's used again throughout the beat in different variations, and then this part, just like another version of like the higher pitched part for the hook. Just doesn't have the flute in it. Arranging the melodies for the second part of the hook, I wanted it to be more full, so that's why you can see there's more brass elements in there, and all that stuff. The tubular bells coming in, I felt like it added that punch. Same thing with the open hats. You want there to be an audible difference from like the pre-hook to the hook, but you don't want it to be too different, because you still want it to be able to flow. For the drums, obviously everything else is hitting. Now this is an interesting strategy that you might hear in some Wheezy songs. I'll just play it for you guys real quick, and you can also hear the Fruity Love filter automation clip there as well. You can see there'll be breaks in the drum pattern just to create that like tension and release. Again, because it's the same drums hitting over and over again, you just want to create tension and release. And that also can give a space for the artist to like punch back in. But for the most part, that's just it. The drums hit fairly frequently and like are constant throughout a lot of Wheezy beats. That's just how they are. That's how Gunna, Young Thug, that's how they like it, I can imagine. So we have one part that's like a bridge / breakdown right here, where it's just the loop and then the 808 comes in, just because you do want the beat to breathe a little bit. So I'll play this for you guys. And then it goes into the verse, right? So that's pretty much it. And the last thing I have to say is just the intro. The intro here, sometimes you'll hear the drums hitting right from the go, and then they'll cut out, and then it jumps back into the pre-hook or the hook or whatever you want to call it, or however it's arranged. So I'll just play this for you guys. I'm gonna leave our tags in there because I like our tags.
OP, you killed this shit.
What are you doing, Jack?
So yeah, that's pretty much it for this beat breakdown. That's a Wheezy beat for you guys. Alright y'all, so that does it for the tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys were able to learn something or just vibe with the beat. Once again, if you guys would like to support us, we'd appreciate it. Go give us a follow on Instagram at Purple Matter, or myself at 1JackG. Like the video, share it, subscribe, comment, do all that, whatever. Show some support to us. And yeah, I'll just let the beat play out here at the end of the video. And if you want to buy a lease, buy the exclusive for it, you can contact us on Instagram. So yeah, stay blessed, everybody. See you in the next one.